As part of the broader vision of Turkic integration, one founded upon ever deeper economic cooperation and interconnectedness, the Turkic Investment Fund, formally and conclusively established in 2024, has a unique role to play. Conceived as the principal financial institution of the Organization of Turkic States, it is intended to translate political ambition into tangible economic opportunity. But how transformative can the role ultimately be? Can a financial institution with an authorized capital of $600 million help reshape the economic landscape of the wider Turkic world? The guest of the ANewZ special today is Ramil Babayev, Director General of the Turkic Investment Fund. Welcome to ANewZ and welcome to ANewZ special.
Thank you very much, Orhan. It's a pleasure to be with you today, with ANewZ today, and I appreciate the opportunity discussing the work of the Turkic Investment Fund and more broadly emerging economic opportunities in the Turkic world.
Thank you very much indeed. I earlier mentioned during my introduction that formally and conclusively established in 2024, but we know it was a long process. The idea was had been in gestation for some considerable time. Initial decision was taken in 2022, but formally the agreement came into force in 2024.
Exactly.
You're based in Istanbul because the headquarters of the fund there. What brings you to Azerbaijan on this occasion? What are your objectives?
So every visit has one purpose on our side: to transform dialogue into promising investment opportunities, and that's exactly the reason why I'm in Azerbaijan today, to build on the discussion that we held during the recent Islamic Development Bank Group annual meetings in Baku. Our delegation met with international financial institutions, public and private institutions, and our discussions focused on advancing regional economic integrity, mobilize investments, and deepen capital market operations, as well as explore new innovative financing solutions for the long-term growth of the Turkic world. And we are already have several promising areas for the for viable cooperation areas, and actually the significant outcome of recent visit was entering into $50 million agreement with ICD, Islamic Cooperation for Development. And I would like to note that our engagement in Azerbaijan is rooted has much deeper roots. Azerbaijan is not only one of our founding shareholders, it's also the country where the establishment of the institution came from. In 2014, during the fourth summit of Turkic Council, the President of the Republic of Azerbaijan, His Excellency Mr. İlham Aliyev, first time proposed establishing a joint investment fund for the Turkic states. And that vision was about, as you just also mentioned, turning political solidarity into real economic cooperation. And today, as the Turkic Investment Fund, our aim to help this vision come forward. So the motive of our engagement in Azerbaijan is to maintain the momentum, identify viable areas of cooperation, and help promising ideas move forward move forward for investment and tangible investment outcomes.
We earlier mentioned the authorized capital of $500 million, which was increased later. Now it's $600 million. What are the key specific areas, specific sectors that are being seen as priorities as long as Azerbaijan is concerned?
Yeah, our capital supports our mandate in all member states. Our objective is to invest in bankable, in solid, viable, commercially viable projects that deliver measurable development impact. All investments, have to satisfy two equally important tests. First, it needs to be commercially viable, and second, it has to generate, measurable development impact. So Azerbaijan, in this respect, Azerbaijan holds a significant position, not only for our investments, not only as one of the founding shareholder and important investment destination, but also strategic bridge between Asia and Europe. The reconstruction and development of, we see a lot of opportunities, by the way, in energy, electricity transmission, and transport and logistics, private sector participants which engage in the regional commerce. But the reconstruction and economic development of Karabakh and ANewZ represent a major part of this opportunity. The Karabakh and ANewZ green energy zone provides important framework for investments in logistics, in electricity transmission, and private sector activity. And actually, this also can create additional centers for production, for employment, and other economic opportunities, connectivity opportunities within the region. Speaking of connectivity, I would like to mention that transport dimension is very important. The Horadis-Ağband highway and railway form is part of Zengezur, together with the developing railway between Nakhchivan and Turkey. This route can help strengthen the middle corridor.
Absolutely.
So, and this can also create, all this investment can create new centers, a new branch of middle corridor, where all commercial and other logistic opportunities can be identified and expanded to the region as a whole. Our investment strategy is we cannot separate our investment strategy for Azerbaijan from other member states, because its investments in Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, and Uzbekistan strengthens the eastern section of middle corridor, while complementary investments in Azerbaijani side reinforce its Trans-Caspian and western section. And I would like also to mention that people usually focus on our initial share capital, but we see it differently. $600 million is our just starting capital, not the ceiling. Once we have a strong pipeline of high quality investable projects, we are planning to mobilize additional funds from financial instruments, including accessing to international capital markets. That's why obtaining a international credit rating next year is going to be a top priority for us. And at the same time, we are planning to mobilize extra funds in local capital markets of our member states. This serves a dual purpose. First, to mobilize funding in local currency, that would our economies benefit, and the second would be contributing to the development and deepening of our capital market operations. In general, as we do not see Azerbaijan as an isolated market, we see our activities in Central Asia would just strengthen the connections, the flows across the Caspian region, and our complementary investment ambitions in Azerbaijan should just reinforce our objective going forward in terms of integrated Turkic prosperity.
A number of things happening concurrently and simultaneously. We talk about organization of Turkish states, the Turkic role, it's a middle corridor geography. Very recently, President Aliyev of Azerbaijan was in Kyrgyzstan attending Central Asia Azerbaijan summit. So we realize that all of these platforms somewhat converge. They are part of that wider middle corridor geography, wherein the Turkic spirit, Turkic identity seems to be very, very prevalent. I would like to specifically ask about those financing agreements that Turkic Investment Fund signed to date. What are those agreements?
I would like to first note that we're very proud that our first transactions indicate exactly how we intend to operate. This includes supporting regional infrastructure, financial intermediaries, and also private sector channels. And before I list transactions, I would like to talk about the investment strategy that was adopted by our board of directors, by the member states. As per the adopted regulation, in our initial stage, we are only interested in co-investment and syndicated transactions, along with the reputable international financial institutions. This allows us to build a strong pipeline, leverage the experience of trusted partners, and maximize our development impact. Once as the institution continues to mature, we are planning to gradually expand our toolkit to include direct lending, trade finance instruments, and capital market operations. At later stages, we will also onboard indirect and direct equity investments. So in this respect, we are participating. We are planning to participate with the $20 million in a senior secured syndicated facility of $650 million for Almaty International Airport. It's arranged by Bank of America. With this investment, we support capital investment of airport and strengthen trade, passenger and cargo gateway in Central Asia. And it shows us also, it demonstrates our capability in participating in such a, alongside reputable international financial institutions in complex infrastructure transaction structured to international standards. When it comes to financing a real economy, we have recently provided $10 million to KMF Bank of Kazakhstan alongside with an EBRD package of facility of $50 million. So our combined $60 million will support MSME, micro and small medium enterprises in Kazakhstan, specifically women-led businesses, rural businesses, as well as the enterprises that participate in regional trade. As already mentioned, another important agreement is Managed Islamic Co-Financing Program framework that was signed with ICD, which also reinforces our objectives and we are providing additional Sharia-compliant financing. I would like to note that we have, there is a big demand for Sharia lending in Central Asia, and with this package, ICD has agreed to provide up to 5 times more than our ticket. So what it means, together we have secured $300 million for the potential eligible opportunities in the region. So how we are going to funnel it? Eligible opportunities will be identified and financed progressively through financial intermediaries in our member state as per the agreed criteria and governance of the internal policies of the fund. So all these initiatives are mutually reinforcing. Infrastructure connects markets, and access to finance provides those businesses use those connections to expand and participate in regional trade.
We're talking about this mutually reinforcing system there, which exists as part of your modus operandi at the Turkic Investment Fund. Could you tell us more about how investment fund is going to use its resources, which you explained, you also referred to financing agreements as well, to boost the trade cooperation between Azerbaijan and the wider region encompassing the Turkic world?
Yeah, yes. Allow me briefly start explaining our mandate first.
Absolutely.
The Turkic Investment Fund was not established to finance isolated projects. Mm-hmm. The Turkic Investment Fund was established to finance regional connectivity because we believe it's where connectivity, the long-lasting development and regional integration begin. The Turkic Investment Fund was established to close the gap between the region's economic potential and investments needed to connect it. As you already know, our member states represent a combined economy of $2 trillion and population exceeding 170 million. Yet the cross-border transactions remain below the potential. We see we need to help these regional advantages become bankable investments and strengthen the value chains and expand opportunities across the Turkic region. In general terms, for us, integration is not just a political aspiration. It's an investment agenda. Our vision is to help build more connected, resilient, and dynamic economic space across the Turkic world. As you know, trade grows when there is, when the businesses have an access to infrastructure, reliable infrastructure, appropriate funding, stronger connections, and governments can create, usually, they create enabling environment, but if we want to achieve sustainable economic growth, it's ultimately on private sector. So our aim is to provide additional funds and long-term financing for the businesses so they can expand, they can invest, they can innovate and create high-quality employment opportunities in the Turkic world. I would like to mention that we are planning to deploy our capital through three main funnels. First, it's going to be through international financial participating in the regional infrastructure project alongside international financial institutions to reduce the cost and complexity of moving goods and people across borders. Second, we are planning to finance financial intermediaries so they can onward finance MSMEs. Third, we are planning to employ trade finance and co-finance frameworks to provide some flexibility in terms of products to our business owners. And our recent transactions already demonstrated, because if you look at our syndicated deal, this is Almaty International Airport. We are supporting their major aviation and cargo airport in Central Asia. It served 11.9 passengers in 2025, and also 70% of Kazakhstan air cargo was handled through this airport, which already puts this airport at the center of freight and passenger connectivity. And if you look our co-lending structure with EBRD to KMF Bank, they serve 275,000 clients across Kazakhstan. And 50% of this client base is women-led businesses, and 24% of this client base are the enterprises that engage in regional commerce. By the way, our specific funding to this KMF Bank is intended to fund the enterprise that actively participate in regional trade. The same applies to our Sharia-compliant financing, where we are providing, on top of conventional financing tools, we are providing Sharia-compliant Islamic finance tools to the business owners. Ultimately, successful regional integration should be felt in people's everyday lives through better jobs, through competitive businesses and stronger connections. And what it means for Azerbaijan, it means stronger investments, more investments in stronger connections and logistics and connectivity, where Azerbaijan already plays a strategic role. And that's why our broader philosophy not to look at Azerbaijan as a market for just investment. We see Azerbaijan as one of the important pillars for integrated Turkic.
Well, it looks like, Ramil Bey, the connectivity, we talk about connectivity all the time. The more connected you are, so the stronger will be your unity. It will bring prosperity, financial stability, and connectivity is no longer a buzzword, but also, in my humble opinion, has become sort of a new religion of political science and wider geopolitics. You mentioned about sustainable development. These sustainable development goals form a very core part of your identity. Could you tell us about those specific green and eco-friendly projects that happen to be in the offing from the perspective of being financed by the fund?
Thank you very much. Sustainability is not just the investment category for us. It's a standard that every project should meet. It doesn't matter, whether we finance infrastructure or financial intermediaries or private sector participants. Sustainability is integrated how we evaluate, how we structure, approve, and monitor transactions. And we see, significant opportunities in our member states in terms of green energy, renewable energy, energy storage, and sustainable development of rare minerals. And our member states also has a great potential for renewable energy production, and also occupies central position in emerging energy corridors. So another very important matter it's water security. It's a strategic top priority for our region. Central Asia is increasingly facing dual challenge of growing water demand and climate change, making the efficient water management more important than ever. And the Kyrgyz, at the same time, Kyrgyz Republic possess abundant water resources and hydropower potential, making it the country as a contributor to the long-term sustainability of the region. So we are very interested in supporting the investment that would, increase the water efficiency, enhance, strengthen the water infrastructure, and introduce innovative technologies and solutions to stop water losses and enhance the water structure in the member countries. And the green energy corridor that connects Central Asia and Azerbaijan is exactly the infrastructure that is aligned with our mandate. Why? Because it connects several member states. Yep. It strengthens energy integration.
Does it come from Kazakhstan and Uzbekistan?
Exactly, and it strengthens energy integration and also provides a direct channel for the clean energy transition. So when the next sustainability extends beyond our infrastructure. For instance, with our KMF Bank lending together with the BRD, we also support green and innovative digital lending products alongside MSME financing. Also, for when it comes to our Sharia compliant financing, we support the responsible development of private sector. So, all in all, ultimately, green energy, investments in green energy, in transition, in clean transition of the energy channels and connectivity corridors will be in our investment look for the next years.
My last question, you already, I suppose, replied to all the major questions that I was planning to ask. But last question, very briefly, if I may. As Turkic Investment Fund is expanding, increasing its cloud, its regional footprint, how do you envision its role in terms of building economic future cooperation within the Turkic world?
Thank you. Actually, our vision, as I already mentioned, to help build a more connected, resilient, and dynamic economic space through disciplined and professional development finance. So our role is to close the gap between the economic potential of our region and the investments needed to connect it. Actually, as I already mentioned, we already possess a combined economy of $2 trillion and population exceeding 170 million. And our country is rich in natural resources, energy, agriculture, and hold this very strategic position between Asia and Europe. That's why it's very important for us to help these regional advantages prosper into bankable investments, into strong value chains, and economic opportunities across the Turkic world. Our first responsibility has been institutional building. Before financing the projects, we had to build our policies, guidelines, and of course, very important, the credibility expected of international financial institution. Yeah. And trust is another important asset for any development finance, and that's why every project we finance, every partnership we build is designed to build that trust and earn and strengthen that trust. For us, we have identified 3 roles in coming years for the Turkic Investment Fund. First, being as a connector, bringing public, private, international partners to the region around the opportunities emerging in the Turkic world. Second, being as a catalyst, using funds' own capital to mobilize more public and private finance.
Yes.
And third, being as an institutional builder. We are our aim is to help enhance, raise the standards in project preparation, investment execution, and etc. So, in general terms, we have a strong vision of integrated Turkic prosperity in coming years, and we believe that it's not going to be it's not just the next years ahead will not be defined only for the stronger political cooperation, but it will be defined also as stronger connectivity, integrated prosperity for the region.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for this absolutely delightful and very, very enlightening conversation, Mr. Ramil Babayev, Director General of the Turkic Investment Fund, and I wish you all the best in your hard work. Thank you very much indeed.
Enjoyed the discussion.
Thank you. Well, the future of the Turkic integration will not be determined, as my guest today said, by any single institution, nor by any single summit or declaration. It will probably be shaped by the extent to which political ambition can be translated into economic integration and lasting prosperity across the wider Turkic world geography.